So before we begin, I just want to quickly tell you guys that this is an in-depth tutorial, so I would recommend you guys to keep your pencil and paper ready with you and follow along the tutorial to practice drawing eyebrows. And if you don't want to follow along, you can always just speed up the whole video through YouTube app only. So without any further ado, let's just jump right in. Okay guys, so in the first technique, we are gonna be drawing the eyebrow just using hair strokes. So for this, I am using 8B drawing pencil, and make sure it's really sharp like this. Okay, it's not completely sharp, but sharp enough to create nice hair strands. So here what I'm gonna do, so if you are not confident as of now as to where the direction is going to go of those hair strands, then what you want to do is you want to first create a shape for the eyebrow. And for this, I am using a regular pencil. Just ignore the pencil right now. It's a regular pencil, so it's not really dark. So as you guys can see, I am creating this shape of the eyebrow, so it depends on you what kind of shape you like. So I'm just gonna kind of zoom in a little bit. Yes, so that's the shape. I hope you have drawn that if you're following along with this tutorial. So what you want to do is you want to start creating the hair strokes. So always start with the front, and what I do is I always start adding these hair strokes, but these are light hair strokes in the front part. So what I'm gonna do is the first step is to always just go ahead and start adding these strokes. But as you guys can see, I am still not putting much pressure, not making sure that these hair strands or strokes are light, because we want to see how those hair strands are looking. So you don't want to just go ahead and darken those up in the first go. So the first thing, when you create these hair strands, as you guys can see, when I'm creating it at the bottom part of the eyebrow, they are kind of facing that side, and I'm not creating a longer hair strand where that covers the upper part as well. I don't want to do that, and you don't want to do that as well. So I'm just creating the hair strands in the front part of the eyebrows can be longer, but as you move forward, they get shorter. Not shorter, but they face the end part of the eyebrows like that. So I've created these really light hair strands. Now what you want to do is you want to start adding more hair strands, but what we are gonna do here is we are gonna start those strands from the upper part and kind of merge that with the lower hair strands, with the hair strands which are coming from that lower part of the eyebrows. And both hair strands, both part of the hair strand, the ones which are like starting from this base and the ones which are like starting from the upper part, are just gonna face the tail of the eyebrow like this. So yeah, I have filled in my eyebrow with the hair strands, and I'm happy. Once you're happy with the hair strands, you can either leave it like this, so this can represent very sparse, very light kind of eyebrows. But if you want to make it bushy and if you want to make it darker, then just go ahead with the same pencil. I'm just going to use the same pencil, 8B, and this time around in the second go, I'm gonna make sure I am putting much pressure onto the paper so that I can just darken those hair strands up. So I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna go over. Okay, I always make sure that the front part of the eyebrow is quite light, so again, I'm not putting much pressure. I'm just going over those hair strands once again. Now as I move forward, I am putting a lot more pressure, as you guys can see, and I'm darkening those hair strands up like that. Make sure your pencil is sharp enough to create hair strands. And I'm gonna do the same with the upper part of the hair strands. I hope I'm making sense. So that's what you wanna do. I hope you're following along. Even if you're not following along, you can just, you know, fast forward the video and see what the technique is. But yeah, that's how you create eyebrows with this technique. This is one technique. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm adding. And also, as you guys can see, the end part of the eyebrow is looking much darker, and the front part looks way lighter. So that shouldn't happen. So the eyebrow should merge in a way that, yeah, the end part of the eyebrow is darker, but then when it comes to this part of the eyebrow, it becomes lighter in a way where there's like a good transition kind of a thing happening. So I'm just gonna darken these little babies a little bit more. Like that. Okay, and as you guys can see, the pencil is kind of coming out, so I'm just gonna take this part, just ignore my nails, you guys, this part of the eraser, and just gonna erase that. So that's one way of, oh god, I just messed it up. This is one way of creating eyebrows with just hair strokes, no shading, no nothing, no blending. And here I showed you that you create hair strands from the base and also from the top part, but you can also do you can also follow one technique where, okay, this one I also drew just with the hair strands, but as you guys can see, all of them are actually starting from the base, and I didn't add any hair strand from the upper part of the eyebrow. And this is like, this can be one style, this can be another style, so it's up to you. The technique is same. What I just did is I didn't add any hair strand from the top part of the eyebrow, and they both look incredibly good. So yeah, that was the first technique where you just draw eyebrows using just hair strands. All right, now I'm going to show you where you actually blend those hair strands. So what I'm going to do is, you did learn how I create the strands and everything, so I'm just gonna fast forward that part. If you want, you can slow it down, and I'm just gonna show you what you can do to make it look like one of these. So in this next technique, I'm gonna kind of start and draw this kind of eyebrow where all of the hair strands are actually starting from the base part of the eyebrow. So again, I'm just gonna go ahead and create the shape, and I'm just gonna stop talking and fast forward this part. Alright guys, so as you guys can see, it's obviously not looking very hair strokey like this one, but yeah, that is the technique that we are going to be following. You are going to be needing a Q-tip for this one, a clean one, make sure it's clean. And what we are going to do, we're going to lightly go over the hair strokes that we drew. Really lightly, you know, I'm just making sure I'm not, you know, blending everything out, because I want to make sure that hair strands are still visible. It's okay if it goes out the eyebrow like that. Now, just to clean it up again, I'm just gonna use the edge of my eraser and gonna just erase that part which is like coming out. And I also make sure that I'm like lightly tapping it on the front part of the eyebrow so that it's not that dark, like that. And you can always, if you want, you can always go ahead and take this black part of the Q-tip and just lightly shade. You can use it as your a little mini shader. And yeah, so as all of those hair strands kind of disappear, you can always go back and sharpen your pencil a little bit more and add more hair strands. But I'm not gonna do that because I kind of like it. So I'm just gonna take this pencil, which has no darkness at all, and just kind of add these hair strands, which are not going to be too prominent, but you can still see some hair strands thing kind of going on. So sharpening up your pencil really helps in creating nice hair strokes. As you guys just saw, as my pencil was not that sharp, the hair strands didn't come out that sharp either. But yeah, I'm taking this lighter pencil because I don't want to make it too dark, and adding these hair strokes, just, you know, kind of making sure that they do not disappear like that. And you can also go ahead and take those hair strokes out of the eyebrow so that it looks very bushy, very fuller, and as if it very fuller and very natural as well. So I'm just gonna clean this up. Now I'm going to show you my last technique of creating eyebrows. So again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be using a pencil which isn't that sharp, and it's HB. Sorry, this doesn't have that much of darkness either. And again, I'm just going to create a shape for the eyebrow. I don't know why my camera is not focusing. Yeah. So I'm going to create a shape. Again, shape depends on you. So if you want, you can just follow along. I'm not going to be fast forwarding this one. We have a shape, all right? And if you think the shape is like really dark, because we don't really need it. Just need it for just to guide us. So I think this is okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this black part of the, I'm just going to be using this black part of the Q-tip, and it still have that pencil shade, and I'm gonna just start filling that brow shape in with that little black shader thing that we have on our Q-tip. Don't worry about it being messy or perfect because we are going to be cleaning that up later. So I'm just going to fill that in, and as you guys can see, the front part is lighter. All right, not lighter, but it kind of nicely blended. Once you have this, what you want to do is you wanna, again, I'm just using the same HB pencil because this is going to be like the first layer. All right, and I'm just gonna start creating hair strands. Now it's up to you if you want to go ahead and do this one or this one where the hair strands are like kind of starting from the base. It's up to you. So I'm just gonna start creating hair strands. So yeah, this looks good in itself, but whatever. So yeah, we have this. I have a comic book right underneath my papers. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the clean part of the Q-tip and lightly, really lightly, just go over these hair strands. Really lightly, like that. And this is just gonna further fill that eyebrow in, because we're spreading that pencil shade with that Q-tip. Like that. Now I know it looks really messy, but we will clean it up. That's my favorite part actually. Now I'm not gonna take AB pencil because it's just too dark. I'm gonna be taking, oh my god, where my pencil is. Yeah. This pencil, which is like a normal pencil. It doesn't have any darkness or anything of that sort. And I'm just gonna go over the hair strands that I created just to darken them up a little. And for this step, make sure your pencil is really sharp, nicely sharpened. And as you go further towards the front part, do not put much pressure there. I hope you can see. I hope the shadow of my hands are not like ruining the view. And yeah, adding a few more hair strands here as well. You can also, you know, kind of make these strands a little longer at the front part, like that. And yeah, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna again just go ahead and take the clean part of my eraser and gonna clean that up like that. Now as you guys can see, it looks so good. Let me just zoom in. It looks really bushy, really nice, really nicely filled. And even though this one also looked bushy, but this looks way different. So my whole idea here is to show you guys how different techniques can actually make a huge difference when you create eyebrows. So as you guys can see, I have a lot of eyebrows right here with me that I created just for practice, and all of them, you know, I just used either this technique, or this technique, you know. So these are the three techniques that I usually use, but all of them look so different and so good. And this is my favorite one, I think, when you build things up. And also it does not look this dark, because here I used 8B pencil, here also I used 8B pencil, but yeah, it's still way different than each and every one of them is just different. Here I added some curly kind of hair in different part as well, so this looks really different. So what I want you to do, if you want to practice eyebrows or creating eyebrows, drawing eyebrows more, first of all, just follow along the tutorial, create the eyebrows. Once you get a grip on the technique, go ahead and find some inspiration on Pinterest, different shapes with different kind of hair strands, and just start creating those with any of the techniques that I showed you in this video. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do create, or if you do practice eyebrow shading, eyebrow sketching at home from my tutorial and you really liked it, then do tag me on Instagram. I would love to see what you have created. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Give this video a big thumbs up. I want to post more videos around traditional art, sketching, because I really love doing that. And if you have some specific idea, or you know, that you want me to create, then let me know down in the comment section below. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next video.